Hello, listeners. This is Clarion Kodamanchili, the host of the InnoHEALTH Magazine podcast. Welcomes you to this edition of the podcast, hosted and produced by Innovation Curious, with a mission to spread awareness and knowledge of various facets of healthcare innovation through conferences, webinars, magazine publication, training, consulting, and market access programs. Check out the links available in the description below. This podcast is 29th episode of the InnoHEALTH Magazine and contains a narrative of the InnoHEALTH Magazine Volume 6, Issue 5 Summary. The review is composed and narrated by Dr. Debleena Bhattacharya, who is the Associate Editor for InnoHEALTH Magazine. Let us invite Dr. Debleena to take us through the summary of the magazine.
Thank you, Clarion. So, we will be starting our journey. First, I will be taking you to the persona section. So this time we have an interview of eminent cardiologist Dr. Satish Kr Gupta, who has initiated meditation for preventing or reversing the disease process. He was able to stop or decrease insulin and anti-diabetic, antihypertensive medication requirements for almost all of the ailments of mind and body. In his interview with Professor V.K. Singh, he has shared his experience and elucidated the importance of yoga in our life. He further emphasized about 3D healthcare, that is soul, mind, body, medicine. The benefits of practicing Raj Yoga has invoked our consciousness and gave stability to our soul and spirit. This interview promulgates the integration of spirituality in the state-of-art modern heart care. So, with this, you will be getting an overview about how we can reverse our diseases through the incorporation of meditation. In the next article that we have, the unwavering determination of frontline workers forging a pandemic resilient society, is an article that extends our gratitude for the healthcare workers as the world celebrates National Doctors' Day on 1st of July. So the frontline workers have left no stone unturned to keep themselves agile for their patients through constant care and also helping to find solutions by being a part of the hackathon during the pandemic waves. Now the next article is pertaining to the innovations. Innovation section where various new ventures and igniting thoughts have forged into the healthcare arena. So we will be seeing first the oxygen on wheels and oxygen recycling system. It is an innovation done by Indian Navy, which will help in reducing the use of oxygen from the cylinder and aid in extending the life of the existing medical oxygen cylinder 2 to 4 times. So the oxygen recycling system, better named as ORS, is a prototype and cost is capped around 10,000. And it is expected it will be helping to save around 3,000 daily use of your oxygen. So the next device is designed in India to detect blood pressure, oxygen saturation, COVID-19 in seconds. And the device is designed by KJ Hospitals and Postgraduate Center located in Chennai. So the device cost is incurred around 10,000, but the cost will curtail down. Then in this particular device, so the USP of the device is that it is non-invasive and does not need any prick. All a user has to do is place his or her hand in a plastic gloves on the device to prevent infection, and in a flash of results will be coming on the computer screen. So the team has verified the device with the RT-PCR results and the hundreds of patients who are coming to the hospitals, and it has almost 98% match when it is compared with the standard blood count test. So the next method to harvest water from air is developed by the Department of Chemistry and Center of Nanotechnology, IIT Guwahati. It is an initiative that promulgates efficient fog collecting rate by water harvester, as it is highly efficient for use in underwater hulls of ships and submarines to prevent the biofouling and also to prevent the icing on the aircraft windows. The next one is about the artificial intelligence-based tool to detect COVID-19 from chest X-rays. And it was developed by IIT Gandhinagar researchers. This device has a very positive side that it learns the disease diagnosing features from the X-ray image. So it helps a person to determine that whether the person is having COVID beforehand. So preliminary detection of COVID can be made from the x-rays of that patient. Then comes the Lakshman Rekha, an artificial intelligence driven app for COVID patients. So in order to avoid the shortcomings of the existing mobile application in an area of quarantine, so what they do, they match the quarantine location of the individual location from where they have uploaded their biometric data. So any discrepancy in adhering to the COVID rules is informed to the authorities through this app. The next one is about the 3D skin mapping, and it is developed by a team of researchers from Nanyang Technology University, Singapore. So here they have given a solution for 3D images of human skin within 10 minutes. So this is a portable skin mapping device which can be used to access the severity of the skin conditions such as eczema and psoriasis, and would provide very useful to the clinicians who are presently, most of the equipments they are using are 2D images of the skin surface. So they will be having low production cost, non-invasive approach, simplicity of the operation, and low weight of about 100 grams in the USP of this device as against the similar products that is available in the market, and it costs a lot. So this will curtail the cost also. Then we have the AnemoCheck. AnemoCheck is a smartphone application for the non-invasive detection of anemia. So without any invasion, the detection of anemia is done, and it is beneficial for the various section of people like pregnant mothers, women with abnormal menstrual bleeding. So this device will help those people to detect if they are having any chronic anemia or not. So patients suffering from chronic anemia can facilitate their self-management by monitoring their disease, and they can identify the times when they need to adjust their therapies or receive any transfusion. So this will also reduce the complications associated with the patients having late or early transfusions. IIT Delhi launches a grassroots innovation program for students, and here the GRIP initiative, that is, the program is designed as grassroots innovation program, and it is an initiative by IIT Delhi under which the institute students will work on finding novel solutions to the grassroots societal problems, and it is identified by them from the rural and the semi-urban areas. So it is a very good initiative that is taken. Then in the well-being section, we have a different article that is adding 7 vitamins C-rich superfoods to your diet that will reduce your stress and anxiety. And it was written by Yadoji Vishnu Vardhan. So here he has mentioned about the 7 beneficial vitamin C rich superfood and how they will be helpful for reducing your stress and anxiety. He has mentioned about the oranges and the benefits, how they are suppressing the levels of cortisols or the stress chemicals. Secondly, he has mentioned about spinach, avocados, and also blueberries, ashwagandha, how they are helpful. So this article gives you overall benefits of these various vegetables and fruits that will be termed as a rich superfoods, which will curtail down your stress and anxiety. Then we have a very interesting article pertaining to why focus on body mind and not on body mass. It is written by Ramakrishna Sinha. So by being mindful of our thinking patterns relating to body weight, fitness, and health, and by tweaking or transforming them whenever needed, we may overcome our overfixation with BMI. So here it is an interesting article that is in a question answer form, that how we can look good or feel good. What are the ways we can emotionally driven or we can be rationally guided? How do we get swayed by the common sense or the information, that is the torrent of information on health freely forwarded is shared and received, and how we are misguided by this? So do we mind quantity or look for quality? So in the various questionnaires section ways, he has explained about the benefits of maintaining your body mind and not body mass. So the next article is about grief and a healthy emotional response to loss. So, and it is written by Anika Bhasin. So she has mentioned that grief is a negative emotional reaction to the loss of something important. So how to overcome that, and how the grief, how we can come up and with the solutions, and how we can influence, what are the factors that influence how we grieve. So if we understand the basic factors of the grieving process, then it will help us to accept the loss and also help us to learn the loss and reinvesting the emotion ties in new interest or commitments. So this article is a more of a, it will give you, highlight the emotional response invoked by the loss and healthy and constructive ways to cope up with the same. And during the pandemic, we know that we have seen so many cases where they are dealing with the psychological loss of the people who are there, and such traumas have both immediate and long-term effects. But with the proper care and mindfulness, we can overcome all these problems. So this article seeks to provide insight into the behavior patterns of those directly affected by such loss, and also wish to help and support people around them. Then the next article is very interesting, and it comes in focus section, the fool's diet. So a trend that needs to end, and it is written by Sarthak Kapoor. So here he mentioned about how the term diet is ambiguous, means it can be attributed to a specific form of calorie intake and represent a host of different yet similar nutritional interventions. So the similarity coexists with the beliefs that form the basis of all the diets in the market. This similarity is rather hidden, unlike the more evident presence of assumptions about the usefulness of a diet, leading to an opinionated understanding of the working of dietary interventions. So here he mentioned about how the assumptions become the source of our perceived opinion of healthiness. It intensifies the concepts that hardly we share in the sustainable waste management strategies. So a life filled with irrational constraint is depressing and radiates nothing but a pattern of life undesirable. So if you are of the kind that living a life full of flavors and finding restriction fun good for you, but if you're nothing of that sort, still wish to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you might get the idea from this particular article. The next article is about the rising India. It is about the women towards women education and to raise the marriageable age achieving towards punitive paternalism. So it is written by Dr. Nikita Pawar. She has mentioned it that you can educate a man. If you educate a man, you educate a man. If you educate a woman, you educate a generation. So this is the difference that she has mentioned, how the education is important for the woman and for the next generations also. So particularly she mentioned about women in rural areas and lesser known communities. They are particularly affected where schooling is no longer compulsory. Families did not enroll their daughters, not only for financial reasons, but also because of social norms, like keeping girls at home, early marriages and maternity, inadequate school infrastructure, discrimination. So she has mentioned the reforms like changing mentality and the equality between men and women is the need of the hour right now. In this article, we have seen how the participation and decision are making considerable changes. So they have reduced the diseases also. Means the women get to know about the various diseases that they might be facing if they are going for early marriages. Then the traditions, another major aspects to be highlighted is done out here, how the early marriages has reduced the barriers to employment posed due to early pregnancy, birth spacing, higher number of children, which can lead towards malnourishment of mother as well as the child. Then she mentioned about the maternal mortality rate, which is increasing and in India, and it is the need of the hour that we forge towards better social economic impacts. That is, we need to save the maternal mothers, as well as we need to reduce the mortality rate, say, because it has declined since 1990. While better access to emergency obstetrical care has also added as a contributing factor that has reduced the maternal mortality rate. Then there is about the health and all these factors. So various factors she has mentioned that how the girls who marry early have less decision-making power within the marital home, a greater likelihood of a school dropout or illiteracy, lower labor force participation, and also less control over productive household assets. So all these factors, how they negatively provide a wide range of economic and social cost as well as impact of the individual as well as the household levels. Now we are seeing about the tobacco practices, aid and policies in India and the COVID-19 pandemic. It is written by Satish Gupta and Pooja Verma. So here they have mentioned that India happens to be currently the third largest tobacco producing nation and the largest consumer of tobacco worldwide. And the latest survey they have mentioned about WHO, which specifies that 266.8 million current tobacco users. So here they have mentioned about the data and the revelations which adhere to the urgent need for stern intervention of the government for stopping this tobacco epidemic, and also to instigate numerous actions in order to stop this high use of tobacco in the modern world. So tobacco policies and to fight the tobacco in India, they have mentioned about it, how the e-cigarettes are coming into limelight, and also despite there are preliminating numbers in the pervasives of the smoking in this nation, there must not be any slack in the attempt to control the tobacco use. So all these disparities in variation in tobacco use is still there in the various states, various areas, various localities. So how the mass awareness program, expansion of outreach program will help in stopping the use of tobacco and saving a lot of your mass in to stop all this anti-tobacco warnings to be kept out there. So next we have the fermented food from the Ayurveda lens that is given by Dr. Mahesh Sabade. He mentioned about the probiotic foods that we have in our diet, and we are still not aware the benefits of the probiotic diet. Like he mentioned about an arid state of India, Rajasthan. It is a land of dry and extreme summer and winters. So they have a relative scarcity of water. So it is a land of great empires, warriors, and artists too. So it boosts a great culture and heritage that was developed in that arid area. So they have adapted to the dryness through the use of abundant amounts of oil and ghee in their diet. So these oily and greasy substances have the ability to maintain moisture inside the body for a longer time. So this makes the need for water also limited and makes it a wonderful story for the survival and success in the desert. So these are the ways in which our body and our food pattern has adapted to the environment. So Ayurvedic fermented food, he mentioned about the various Ayurvedic fermented food and what are the benefits, and we are eating those food and still we don't know how they are helping. And he also promulgated about unhealthy fasting, that is the various forms of crash diet leading to the undernutrition or the overuse of spices or the alcohol in excess. So these are the shapers of the causing problems with our diet. So how we can curtail those problems by having yogurt in our diet, that is a fermented food, and that helps in curtailing all the problems that we are having right now. So regular use of fermented food allows more moisture to accumulate inside the body. So it helps conducive to health also. For every time consumption will be more better, and it will help our body to cope up with all the problems that we are facing, all various problems like heartburn, or due to a spicy food, there are certain diseases people are having. So this fermented food helps them to curtail all these problems. Next, we have personalized vaccination and its relevance to COVID-19 vaccine, given by Dr. Shruthi K. Venugopalareddy. She mentioned that how the personalized vaccine target a particular vaccine antigen to produce an optimal immune response. So she has mentioned about the relevance of personalized vaccination to COVID-19 vaccine development. And here she has mentioned the prevailing COVID-19 vaccine, how this vaccination is the key to overcome the crippling effect of the pandemic varying immune response to vaccines through the conventional one-size-fits-all approach. And on the contrary, we can go for personalized vaccination that will help to predict the immune response considering the unique characteristic of an individual or the population subgroups. Then we have a very interesting article based on plant-based seafood substitute that is written by Akriti Sharma. She has mentioned about a wide variety of seafood, including the salmon, scallops, tuna, shrimps, caviar, crabs, and squids that has already gained the popularity in the plant-based form in the market. So plant-based alternative to seafood is ranging from slice of aubergine marinated and pressed over rice to sauteed tofu wrapped in seaweed. So these foods are, and vegans and vegetarians, they find it difficult to choose for the sustainable options among the seafoods. They might see plant-based substitute as an attractive alternative offering an additionally dietary choice. So she has mentioned about the change in the wide variety of food that is available and they are plant-based. So it is widely accepted by the vegan or the vegetarian people. Then we have an article about new scope where the latest in the healthcare is defined out here. We have seen the Pune lab, they have developed India's first home test kit that is known as MyLab COVID Self at a price of rupees 250. So they have mentioned in order to break the chain of transmission of the viruses, several measures are being taken by the governments. So one of the measures is this kit. You can do this test in your home at just rupees 250. Then we have seen the SBI launches Arogyam Healthcare Business Loan. This pandemic, they have taken the entire healthcare industry by swing, and now we are all making efforts to build a resilient ecosystem around it in order to mitigate any similar situations in the future. So State Bank of India, they have given 2.27% has launched a business loan for the entire healthcare ecosystem. So this will be helpful to strengthen the healthcare infrastructure across the entire country. Then we have seen the Google's DeepMind release structure of every known protein. So protein structure we know is the core of your biochemistry and they have profound implications for medicines and technology. So with thousands of protein structure being established, there will be improvement in the productivity of the pharmaceutical research pipeline. So Google's AlphaFold 2 indisputably won the 14th critical assessment of structural prediction competition. So bioannual blind test where computational biologists try to predict the structure of several proteins whose structure has been determined experimentally, yet not publicly released. So these results are so incredible and accurate that many have hailed this code as the solution to the long-standing protein structure prediction problems. Then WHO issued first global report on artificial intelligence in health and 6 guiding principles for its design as well as use. Then we have one more interesting articles about Abbott's Korea's imported PanBio COVID-19 self-test. It is launched at rupees 325. Like the earlier self-test that we have seen, this is coming from Korea. It is imported from Korea with the COVID-19 self-test landscaping maturing in India. US-based pharma and diagnostic giant Abbott launched your PanBio, a rapid antigen self-test in India for rupees 325 a test. So this is the second such test kit available in the country after the Pune-based MyLab Discovery Solution have launched the Covishelf. Then we will see the innovation in hydrogel technology that helps in transforming the wound care. So this technology, wherever our skin is injured, be it by accident or by any surgery, our body works to repair the wound. So as our skin heals, a scar may form as this is a natural part of healing process. But appearance of a scar often depends on how well the wound heals. So with the advent of new innovations in hydrogel technology, wound care will be transformed. Then in this pandemic, what kept I see busy during the second wave of pandemic. We have mentioned how we are busy. We in Innovation Curious as the technology partner supported the entire event. We have conducted the 5th Science Policy Forum for Biodiversity and the 8th International Conference on Sustainable Science on the technical front by providing end-to-end technological solutions and logistic support. You can visit the www.scienceforbiodiversity.org and go through this event that has been conducted. So this program, they include 5 virtual sessions held on 13, 15, 19, 21st and 23rd April 2021. So every event saw participation from more than 25 stakeholders across the globe with more than 70 speakers spread across 5 sessions. The online conference saw some 2,300 registration and 1,305 attendees. So it is distributed over 3 days. The conference generated a high value educational content of about 32 hours with comments and experience, as well as rich knowledge shared by more than 60 speakers across the globe. So our team believe in the spirit of adventure. So this spirit has helped us in keeping and exploring newer opportunities every time. And we are happy that this journey of pandemic, where we have not left any stone unturned and we have explored the possibilities for doing so. You can visit the innovatiocurious.com and see about this conference also. And the whole conference is written by Partvi Jain. Then we have a book review, and the review is done by Sachin Kr, executive editor for InnoHEALTH Magazine. He mentioned about light, molecular mechanism, and sleep, and he gave the review on this book. So it is written by Girish Bhardwaj, and he has mentioned about the new perspective of light in this book, since the light is universal and seen as a positive concept from the spirituality to philosophy. So this is an interesting review where he has mentioned about the Nordic summer, which appreciates the light better than anyone else. So with modern luxury comes the built environment and artificial lifestyle. This book explores the topic of light and how it has impacted biological process of humans. So it also touches the topic of loss of sleep and other negative impacts due to wrong lighting environments in their surroundings. So this book will give you an interesting idea about how light is affecting the environment around. So with this, we have the last one that we request you to share your thoughts about and also write articles pertaining to your in this innovation journey that or this failure stories and send it to magazine@innovatiocurious.com. We will definitely go through your article, and after review we will publish your journey, and it will also motivate the innovators who are thinking of doing something new but didn't have the courage. Maybe they have faced the failure. So we want you to send your failure stories also in order to motivate those people who has seen so many failures and later on they have tasted the success. So with this, we are ending our sessions, and thank you everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Debleena, for the summary of the magazine. To read the magazine for free, please follow the link provided in the description below. To know more about the magazine, visit us at www.innohealthmagazine.com. Hope you liked our efforts for this podcast. Please share your views using the feedback link available in the description below. Have a wonderful day ahead and take care. Thank you.